Being $98,000 in debt, it can be so overwhelming for you, but trust me, I have a plan for you to pay off your debt and have it not feel so overwhelming. If you are interested to see how I break down this person's budget who is $98,000 in debt, then keep on watching. This individual is a family of 4. They do have savings, $4,080. Some of it is going to vehicle registration, which is great. And their goal is to pay off debt and to free up some money in their budget. This is the debt totals that they have. So they have quite a few loans. And they also have a car lease 2 years. I don't know what the full dollar amount is, but we have the monthly payment on the bill tracker. In all, that is the $98,000 in debt, which is a lot. It is a lot. So this is the pay schedule, and they also receive a child support payment twice a month. Here is the breakdown of the budget using the bill tracker. So I wrote in all of the dollars in the bills, and then we have the variable spending down below. So let me go ahead and share with you how I would break down this individual's budget. So I'm going to be actually walking you guys through this live as I write up their budget for this debt payment plan. I have the bill tracker on this side and then the paycheck budget. So I will be writing up the budget for May the 21st. And I'm going to start with listing out the expenses that I know have to go in this budget. I'll get to the income and the percentage in just a minute, but let's first start off writing in what she actually has to set aside from this paycheck for these expenses. What you do, you go down this column right here on the date, and the first one is rent, and it is $612.50. And you're gonna check mark it that you've set that aside. And you're gonna do this for each of these bills. Do you see why I love this organization system, having all of your paydays listed up top, and then you just check off what you have to set aside for that particular paycheck. So let's go ahead and finish off the paycheck budget. I wrote in her income for this first paycheck that we're working with. $1,877 is her income. She received child support on a Wednesday right before her payday, which is the Friday. So we're just doing this simply and just budgeting by the end of the week when she does receive her pay. And what I do here is I use the percentage formula. This is how you can apply a debt payoff for your budget, incorporating the percentage formula. This is what we did when we were in debt, and it really helped us gain a better understanding on how we can categorize our expenses and really reach the goals that we have. I recommend trying to live within 80% of your income for your expenses. So we're gonna see if this is possible right now, but again, this is just the goal for you. So she didn't mention anything about tithing. For this, I'm just gonna leave this alone and not include it for her particular budget. For the goal, if we're budgeting 80% for expenses to have that be our goal, then the difference, which would be 20, would be for debt payoff and savings. So you take the income, $1,877, and you multiply it by the percentage that you want to apply in this formula. So 1,501,375. So I'm just gonna leave this blank, and we're just gonna leave this blank here. So 1,877, we're still working with to break down. And now let's go ahead and add up all of her fixed expenses that she has here. $1,445.87. We are cutting it pretty close because $1,501 is what we had wanted to be the goal for her living expenses. So right now we're at the $1,445. That only leaves us with $55.13 left, which is not realistic. So right off the bat, I can see that you're living well above that 80% as my suggestion. So let's see what else you have to budget out for based on the information that you provided me. I wrote in the numbers that you had provided to me based on your spending. From this paycheck, you had said that you put money for groceries and gas. So it's $400 for the month, and then you budget, I want to say it was $160. Let's see. Yeah, or $120 for gas, and then you have waxing, Tula Beauty, and then your husband is the one that puts money for golf when he gets paid. So this is your payday, so we're not going to apply funds for that golf. So there's still $301 to budget out for. So because you do your waxing and then you do your Tula order not every month, this is called a sinking fund. So you're going to put money aside for that specific purchase. So that's why I moved it down here and not on this top variable spending, because that's a savings that you're doing now for a future purchase. We have a waxing sinking fund. You're going to put $12 for that. So that way you can complete that $90 every 6 weeks, I think you said. And then your Tula order, it's $50 a month. So that way you can order it in 3 months, which is $150 that you order. So $13 is going to go to that sinking fund. That leaves you with a remaining of $276.13. Now, since you already have a savings amount of $4,000, I would say with your goal to become debt-free, take this and apply it to your debt. Number one, you wrote in groceries and gas, but what about your random spending? Do you buy makeup? Do you buy random stuff? Do you spend on clothing, other things? Like, do you give yourself an allowance? Because that's true review of your spending. Be honest with yourself. When it comes to your budget, you want to give yourself real numbers. Like, I'm planning on spending $10 less this week from what I spent last week. Give yourself the budget of what you actually spend and then try to work that number down so that way you can start taking hold of your random spending. So that way you can have more control. Looking at your monthly budget, I see that you have T-Mobile as your phone and you also have Netflix. Did you know that you can link your Netflix account with T-Mobile? They can allot a specific dollar amount for covering the cost of Netflix. So what you do, you're going to sign into your T-Mobile on your desktop and you're going to log in with your Netflix information. That way it's a part of your T-Mobile bill. It won't increase your phone bill unless you have like a family plan, or if Netflix increases their rates, then you're gonna see like a random charge, but it's gonna save you that $15. That's something that I think will be beneficial for you. So yeah, definitely look over and see about giving yourself a quote unquote allowance funds. And now let's go ahead and write up the following paycheck for your husband. $1,779 is her husband's paycheck. Breaking down by the percentage formula, we have the 80% goal is $1,423, and then the goal savings or debt payoff is $355. So we already know, like the previous paycheck, that they have a lot of expenses and it's well above that 80% to live off of. So total fixed expenses for all of the bills comes to $1,445.16, leaving the remaining balance as $333. And then up here, because this is her husband's paycheck, he budgets out for golf $110. And then we have the grocery and then the gas. And then we have her sinking funds, which is the same. And this leaves a remaining balance of $68 to be able to apply for the extra debt payment. I have one thing to say. If you are in this much debt and your money is this tight, Why are you golfing? So I would definitely have a serious conversation with each other when it comes to your spending and see what you can cut out. And I 100% would say golfing, waxing is stuff that you can cut out. Do stuff at home, save your money, because you are so tight on your finances, and you living like this, you are not able to pay off debt. You would have to get a second job if you want to live like this. Something else that is just weighing on my heart is your car loan. So let me flip to the page that shows your payments. You are paying so much on loan, and you are living well above your means. Know that I had been in the same place as you. There are going to be certain things that you're going to, if you want to get out of debt, you are going to have to do these things. You should be cutting all subscriptions. You should not have different subscriptions. Your husband should not be golfing and paying $220 a month for golfing. That is a luxury. You're in debt. $98,000. Make sacrifices, cut back on those luxury things now, so that way you can do it in the future. You need to sell your car. You are paying way too much money for car loans. $495 a month is going to one car, and $525 is going to another car. You are, how much is that? Just in car loans, $495 plus $525. $1,020 of your money is going to car payments, and one of them is a car lease. So you are paying money for a car that you're going to return at the end of the 2 years. We had 3 car leases, so I am well aware of how they work, and it is a reliable car, but that is probably the only benefit. I think that you really need to be, if you're going to be serious on paying off debt, it's going to mean that you're going to have to get rid of your cars. Look at this. You have $24,000 in debt on a Nissan. $24,000, and then you have this Audi lease. You need to get rid of your car. I'm so sorry. Like, this is my true hard recommendation. If you save a few $1,000s, get yourself a used car, not super flashy, but it could be reliable, you know, it's gonna get you around. Sell this car right here, this $24,000 Nissan. It's gonna free up one of these. I can't remember which one it was, but roughly $500 a month you're going to be saving if you get rid of one of your cars and buy a used car. I had done this. We've bought 3 used cars. One was a Toyota, the other was a Honda that I ended up selling, and then we got my car now. We bought it cash, and we paid $6,000 for a Chevy Equinox. Really nice car. Do your research on the vehicles, but it is possible. We have done it. So really, you need to look at that. Try not to live where like you're concerned about what other people might think. We had done that for so long. So a way that you can pay off debt and make a plan to pay off the debt is to make the sacrifices today. Your decisions today are going to affect your future. You have children, and you are in $98,000 in debt. I'm going to keep repeating that to you. A way that you can get out of it is going to be doing hard work, making certain decisions that may not be the ones that you want to make, but are going to be the ones that you have to make in order for you to become debt free, because there's no way that you're going to be able to do it living like how you're living now. Your husband should stop doing golf temporarily, paying $220 for golf. Like, that is a no-no. You're waxing, do home stuff. You have a lot of loans. I got kickback on a recommendation that I had made before, but I will still make it because I do believe in it, and I would think about seeing if there's a way to refinance some of these. I don't know what some of these lending loans are, but look and see if you can lessen the interest, because interest is what kills when it comes to debt. If you can save on interest and pay off the debt and be really intentional on it, then you can become debt-free sooner. cut back on your spending when it comes to your husband's goal. Subscriptions, you might want to cut back on that. Look into merging your Netflix with your T-Mobile bill, because that can save you a little bit on your expenses when it comes to your Netflix bill. Look into your loans and see what you're paying on interest for them, and if it's possible for you to refinance or consolidate. It is doable. I have met with a ton of people that have consolidated debts and it worked for them. So take it with a grain of salt, but that is what I recommend for you. So try to work out your budget plan. I gave you 2 examples of how you break down your budget now, and there's really not much wiggle room for me to change up how you actually budget. But the one thing that you might want to think about is like, what is your random allowance spending, and really tighten up on your variable spending.
Budgeting does not have to be complicated. It just has to make sense to you and your family. So if you would like me to review your budget, then go head on over to the link that I've left in the description box, fill out everything, and see if you will be the next Budget with a Friend on my channel. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.